let's get into some fun videos. Okay, we're gonna start off with a good. We're gonna start off with I think this might be a fun one. I don't know. The title has me concerned, but it is by someone that we love stuff. Okay. No. Yeah. Let's. Hi, Avail. Alright, we're gonna jump in this. Let's forget about the Snow White. Forget about Snow White. I'm not seeing that movie anyway. I hope it causes Disney to crash and burn, but I don't fucking care. We're gonna instead, we're gonna look at something. I actually had meant to look at this, and thankfully someone threw it in the suggest to remind me of it. Casual put out a video recently. Animal facts that we should have left in 2024. I do not know which facts these are, so I am curious, but Casual always puts out a good video. So, I'm ready to jump in on this. Are you, Ted? Is it? Okay, well, let's take a look. Let's take a look.
These saltwater crocodiles in Indonesia have apparently learned how to pretend to be drowning to lure humans in who they view as prey.
I'm gonna call this animal facts we should have left in 2024, because after this, I will not be speaking on this anymore. So this video went viral for obvious reasons. I really thought it was a joke, but from the comments and the sheer volume of people that tagged me, I guess not. So yeah, they're not pretending to drown. But the truth might actually be worse. You see these tiny dots, these pits on the crocodile? Well, they're pressure sensors, and a microdose trypophobia means a prehistoric sawtooth sledgehammer can detect the smallest vibrations in the water. A butterfly can go skinny dipping, and the oversized assault gecko can pinpoint its exact location.
Holy shit! Holy shit! We need to see that again. Chat, did you see? The crocodile literally appeared, it apparated out of nothing. The crocodile literally just apparated.
The water. A butterfly can go skinny dipping, and the oversized assault gecko can pinpoint its exact location.
That would be fucking terrifying. That would be absolutely fucking terrifying. To have this thing just suddenly up here. Holy shit.
Its exact location. In fact, it's scientifically proven. You could blindfold a crocodile in a sensory deprivation tank and drip a leaky faucet's worth of water. They'll know exactly where it's coming from. Their jaws are more sensitive than fingertips, and it's why you can get away with this until a drop of sweat hits their mouth and you get your melon split like Fruit Ninja. It's also why if you see this, be wary. That's a pre-typed obituary. In especially murky water, a crocodile will basically T-pose with a side of spirit fingers to maximize their sensitivity to any disturbances, and any fish in its hitbox gets filleted. So yeah, you got a plus-size sentient snare trap beast breathing like a Nosuke, but this armored demon's the only one slaying. So that could be what's happening here. Or maybe the croc caught a body and just won't let go. Or he could just be dead, but definitely not pretending to drown. I mean, that would imply that someone witnessed the same living plot armor that disregarded 2 extinctions in water and tried to be a hero, and apparently did it enough times for the crocs to catch on. And it's not like crocs are stupid. Mugger crocodiles have been reported using twigs and sticks to bait nest-building birds like egrets into getting close enough to get fouled. Some Cuban crocs have been trained to respond to commands and even come running when called by name. Oh yeah, they can run, by the way. Crocodiles have also been known to work as a team.
Wait. They can be crocodiles can be trained to come like a puppy. You can call a crocodile and have it come to you like a puppy. And yes, I'm very aware that they gallop. That much I know. Atanashi kinda? Yeah, I kinda do. Like, imagine how badass you would be with a trained crocodile pup. Like a trained crocodile. Tornado. If not scary, why friend-shaped? No, Mannix, I'm pretty sure it's not. I am reasonably sure it is not. Not to mention, it would die. Crocodile would not survive here.
Where a researcher witnessed one scare a pig into a lagoon directly where 2 others were waiting. Hell, they even warn you in Australia to never camp or get water from the same place more than twice, because a croc will really recognize the pattern, memorize your routine, and then be right there to cancel your life subscription the next time. So yeah, for a brain in the weight class of a walnut, crocs aren't dumb, but sympathy baiting? That's a Bikram yoga stretch, and what surprised me the most was just how many articles reposted that video repeating it. Like, they really have people out here thinking reptiles unlock the
Okay, it doesn't surprise me. Especially not in 2024. You get one person with at least a modicum of a presence in quote-unquote news, publishing a story that says crocodiles are pretending to drown to bait humans in. It is sensationalism. Okay, Desser, have a good night. It's pure sensationalism, and especially in 2024, you don't think other, like, minor categories of major news websites wouldn't latch onto that and go, holy shit, we could get a lot of clicks on this. So, it does not surprise me in the slightest that one bullshit article that crocodiles are pretending to drown to trick humans so they can eat them built a lot of traction. Considering, hell, I would not be at all surprised if it started as a fucking tweet. Okay? These days, a single fucking tweet, if it goes viral, that turns into a news story, a tweet. So, yeah, this kind of thing blowing up on various quote-unquote news sites, not surprising in the slightest.
power of manipulation. Now, to be fair, that might seem obvious to you, but to someone who doesn't yap about animals for a living, or, watch them, seeing it in an article could be all it takes, and like a verbal virus, it doesn't take much for it to spread. So, for the sake of my mental health, I'm working with ground news. Because if I have to argue with one more comment, I'm gonna lose something. My mind, my fans, my freedom, it might get critical. Ground News is an app and website made by a former NASA engineer who saw a very real problem with the way information can be used as a weapon, and how news outlets often feed on folks' biases. And the thing is, if you think you can't be swayed by bias, then you're exactly the type of person to fall for it. Ground News counters that by gathering all the world's news in one place so you can compare coverage. No tunnel vision here. You get to see the entire picture.
Okay. I love casual. I appreciate he's doing a sponsorship. This app doesn't help. All this app does is prove to you that modern day journalism is garbage, and you can't believe any of it. Because this compiles all of the news, all of the various articles about a single subject, and you basically have to do homework to figure out which one's the truth. Yeah, it shows you how biased these news agencies are, and that's it. It doesn't actually, pare it down so you're getting factual news. You still have to do homework after you read any article on this app. So, I appreciate he's doing, this is his sponsor, and he's gotta basically talk about it in his video, but this is not going to help you with your news reading experience.
Picture and actually be informed. Like with the crocodile story, here you can see it was covered by a modest 13 sources, and in terms of bias towards one side, there isn't really a whole lot to go off of. But here you can see none of the sources were marked as highly factual. In fact, the majority were quite the opposite. So you see, it's a quick way to know what's what without having a know-it-all in a backwards baseball cap tell it to you. Another recent major event were the LA wildfires, and with Ground News, you can see it was reported by 214 sources, and in terms of bias, it broke pretty much even down the middle. But with bias comparison, you can see that left-leaning literature focused on it being possibly the most costly natural disaster.
This is what I hate. That any news agency should be left-leaning or right-leaning. I fucking hate this. You're the news. You're not supposed to lean at all. Your job as the news is to report the fucking news. Your job is to inform the public. That's why the news media, that's why journalists, the journalism industry is referred to as the fifth estate. It is supposed to be completely unbiased. It is supposed to be factual. It is supposed to keep people informed. And no, none of it is anymore. None of the news is unbiased anymore. So yeah, this app only depresses me. Because I know it's all biased and you're not going to get facts. You're only going to get opinions now.
disaster in US history, and write headlines, they focus more on the long-term ramifications for people and businesses and what it could mean for different sides of the socioeconomic spectrum. And with the blind spot feature, you can see news that one side may not have reported at all. As a member of the Chronically Online, it's a pretty cool tool for me to have, and if you're watching this, you probably are too. So if you use my link, you'll get 40% off the same top tier less than $5 a month Vantage plan I'm using. Make sure you go to groundnews.com/casualgeo or scan the QR code on screen to subscribe. But until you do, I'll just tell you, they're not
Josh.
pretending to drown. They're smart, they're not that smart. Like I said, these stories only get airtime when people think a wild predator has the same thought process as a person. That's exactly how you get this. You know, to this day, I don't know where this came from. We're talking about otters. They're not exactly the emblem of empathy.
Otters show their babies when they are in danger to make the enemy feel mercy. Fuck this. Do these people think that otters seriously think that other animals are as empathetic as humans? Where if you show a cuddly baby, a predator is gonna go, "Aw, okay, you get to live." What brain trust came up with this? I want to know where this news article came from. Just so I know to avoid them at all costs, because this is fucking stupid. Yeah, basically, Elwin, the predator's gonna go, "Oh, thanks, you're giving me an appetizer. Very kind of you."
You know, to this day, I don't know where this came from. We're talking about otters. They're not exactly the emblem of empathy. Male sea otters will literally kidnap a pup while their mom's out hunting and hold it hostage until she gives up the groceries. Otters don't mercy farm. You know, if nature's taught us anything, it's that a family ferret's more likely to throw its child into the abyss than ever try something like this. I mean, just imagine a sea otter trying to emotionally guilt trip a giant apex dolphin. That's another thing. Everyone calls them killer whales, but orcas are bully dolphins on steroids, whose original handle was whale killer. Yeah, you probably heard me say this many times. Well, I was wrong, technically. Let me explain. But it will get complicated, so I'm gonna need you to lock in. After this ad, of course. So cetaceans are basically mammals that stole the fish's entire flow, not from fusing or merging, but from the evolution that's converging. There's two types of cetaceans: baleen whales, you know, the toothbrush bristles for teeth type, and toothed whales. For obvious reasons. Okay, now here's where it gets complicated. The toothed whale family reunion is massive. You got everything from your flipper paralysis demon, the false killer whale, to the virtually extinct vaquita. There's 10 families of toothed whales, and within these 10, there's a super family with 6.
You should, Sphinx. Orcas are far more aggressive than sharks are. An orca is far more likely to kill a shark than vice versa. An orca is far more likely to kill a human than a shark. Honestly. He did a whole video on that. Yeah, orcas are... There's a reason why they are called sea wolves. They hunt in packs, and they will fuck your world up. And they have zero problem with sucking with their prey. Like, I've seen, you know, we've seen videos on a previous one of his video, where they're, like, booting a dolphin, like, 15 feet in the air because it's fun. They absolutely use tactics. One of their tactics is they will trap, that's where I was going, Tornado. One of the tactics is they'll trap a seal on an ice floe and basically, like, bully it to death and then eat it. They'll do this thing where they'll peek. They'll kind of, when there's land creatures, orcas will, like, peek. They'll pop their heads up a little bit and peek out of the water, and that's how they're hunting, and then they'll flip an ice floe to force the animal into the water, and then it's meat's back on the table. Oh, yeah. Spy hopping. There you go, yeah. So, yeah. They're sinking rich folks' yachts for fun? Nice. I like it. Tornado, they'll hunt fucking polar bears. Okay, I'm reasonably sure orcas hunt fucking polar bears. You do not fuck with an orca. Plain and simple.
Of them called Delphinoidea.
Yes, J10. J10, that was this video. that was this video. Hang on. That's this video right here.
This, then ever try something like this. I mean, just imagine a
This
sea otter
right
trying
here.
to emotionally guilt trip a giant apex dolphin.
That's the video. It wasn't a seal, it was an otter. It was a sea otter. It was a sea otter that was trying to escape.
Superfamily with 6 of them called Delphinoidea. Superfamily Delphinoidea is where you have your oceanic dolphins, porpoises, along with narwhals and belugas because they're related for some reason. Cue the narluga. Also, notice I said oceanic dolphins. The dolphins that live in rivers are in a completely different party. But anyway, superfamily Delphinoidea is where you find the dolphins that, let's be real, are the ones you think of when you hear the word dolphin.
Filthy
And
animal.
the biggest type of ocean dolphin is the one that can slapbox a seal.
There we go. There we go. Chat, in case you weren't looking, this is what we were talking about.
You hear the word dolphin. And the biggest type of ocean dolphin is the one that can slapbox a seal into orbit. So to recap, an animal that looks like this is a cetacean. Every cetacean with teeth is a toothed whale. A dolphin in the ocean is a toothed whale in the Delphinoidea family. And the biggest member of Delphinoidea is an orca. So long story short, killer whales are dolphins. Every dolphin is a toothed whale, but not every toothed whale is a dolphin. But every toothed whale is a cetacean. It's kind of like how every tortoise is a turtle, but not every turtle is a tortoise. So to answer, are orcas whales or dolphins? Yes, they are. By the way, let me know if you want a full video on that, because that was probably mad confusing. Because being an animal nerd long enough is realizing names really don't mean a thing. Except here, Black Panther is not an animal. You might be tired of hearing it. Well, I'm tired of saying it. And when I say not an animal,
He's right. Black Panther is basically just a nickname for a leopard with a lot of melanin. Black Panthers are actually leopards or jaguars that have an excessive amount of melanin. Yeah, there is no such animal as a black panther. It's they like leopards and jaguars are part of the Panthera genus. But every time you see a black panther, they are either a leopard or a jaguar. And I wish Carboy. They are so pretty. So that's what Casual is about to go into, is that black panthers are not an animal because they're, God knows how many years ago, somebody referred to a melanized jaguar or leopard as a black panther, and that just stuck. But it is literally a leopard or jaguar. Sometimes a tiger. Tigers can sometimes have an excessive amount of melanin, which makes them look completely black and you could barely see the stripes. But if you look at any quote-unquote black panther, if you really look and if the sun hits them properly, you will see their spots. You'll be able to see the spots within their coat. Hello, Catherine. I'm good.
I mean, if you go to a zoo and try to find the exhibit that says Black Panther, you won't find it, because it's not even a name more than a description. It's a panther that's black. And remember, panther is just any cat in the Panthera genus. So any lion, tiger, jaguar, leopard, or snow leopard in black.
And again, you're seeing it in jaguars. It's far more commonly seen in jaguars and leopards. Tigers, it's pretty rare. I can't recall ever seeing a lion with the excessive amount of melanin. Definitely not I haven't seen a snow leopard. I can't recall ever seeing a snow leopard with it. It's primarily these two.
Could be a black panther, but because the mutation that causes it is dominant in jaguars but recessive in leopards.
There you go. You can see the spots. And you can can't really see the stripes too much on this one, but you can absolutely see the spots on this one, the leopard spots. So there you go.
Leopards. Most black panthers are just jaguars with 10% tint, but black panther itself isn't an actual animal. That'd be like if we called every black wolf, fox, or coyote a black canine, but then acted like black canine was its own thing. It's not real. And you know what else? Alpha wolves are not real, I swear to actually they are. They are real, but only when you put a bunch of wolves that don't know each other in a zoo and they have to figure out stuff on their own. That's actually what happened in the 1930s Rudolf Schenkel study.
Yep. This is another thing. Wolves, the hierarchy of the pack structure doesn't exist like they make in the movies. And yeah, I have talked about this. There is no alpha in a wolf pack. I think the Rudolf Schenkel that he's about to talk about falsely identified a pack structure, but primarily the way it works is you have, if I'm remembering correctly, in a pack, when a pack travels, typically I believe it's the older wolves and the family groups will travel at the front, and I believe it's the younger, stronger wolves, I think, travel in the rear. And that's to basically defend against attacks coming up from behind. I can't recall exactly if any of the young wolves also lead at the front as well. It's been a while since I looked into this. But yeah, there's no actual alpha, so to speak. That doesn't actually exist. That was a false equivalency done by researchers way back in the probably the 30s or 40s, I think. There was false research that was done with incorrect data that attributed like alphas, betas, omegas, as a pack hierarchy structure when it doesn't exist. Wolves function as a full cooperative group. There is no quote unquote leader. Alex, I do believe he may have tried to fix it, but by then it was years too late. I think he tried to fix it like a decade or two afterwards, but by then it was too late. But yeah, there's no like hierarchy in a pack, in a wolf pack. There is probably some kind of like a pecking order in terms of who gets to eat first when upon the conclusion of a hunt. But there is no like leader of the wolves. Yeah, basically it is a cooperative family group where they all work together, and that's kind of it. Did you? Okay, Leo, I'll look in a bit.
Wolves in a zoo, and after watching more fights in Face in a telenovela, he just figured that wolves determine group politics by tearing each other apart. Biologist David Meck built off his work and came up with the term alpha wolf. What they didn't realize was that the wolves were fighting over resources, not rank, and by putting a bunch of randoms in one place, they basically created real house wolves of Switzerland. In real life, a wolf pack is usually just two parents and a bunch of their kids. What folks kept calling the alpha wolf whole time was just their father. Now, because I've done
well, I've seen and heard about wolf packs that are bigger than just a simple family group. Wolf packs can get pretty fucking large. I think I've heard about wolf packs that were like 20 to 30 members strong, and that's not just familial. That's like, they can get multi-generational, they can take in outside wolves. So it still functions as a quote unquote family group because they're all wolves, they're all part of one pack, but they're not necessarily biologically family. So they can grow to be quite large in size, and they're not biologically related, but they function as a family group.
Done this before, I know someone's gonna comment, well, if they're the lead wolf, they're still the alpha. The problem is, the whole alpha thing implies that the lead wolves got there by beating the others like a Cherokee drum. Really, it's just seniority. Also, another thing I never thought about until right now is once the kids get to about 1 or 2 years old, they dip and try to form their own pack. In a zoo, you often get the same adult wolves around each other constantly, and like any reality show, eventually that leads to tension that wouldn't be there in a normal pack. So normally, you wouldn't see any alpha wolves in the wild, and the same guy that came up with that would spend the rest of his career trying to take it back. And just as a final
There we go. Yeah, so like I said, what would be the value of calling a human father the alpha male? He's just the father of a family, and that's exactly the way it was with wolves. He was trying to, and unfortunately, my guess is what happened is why it stuck is because popular media got a hold of it, all fictional writers got a hold of it, and alpha became, hell, we use it to this day when we refer to someone as an alpha chat. That word, the pack alpha in wolves, denotates strength. It denotates strength, it denotates power, it denotates authority, and people love that idea. Like, I fully admit, I did it too in my own books. In one of my books, I did the same thing. I did it too. I fell into that trap too. But as you learn, you know, as you get a little bit older, you get a bit wiser because you learn more. Yeah, but yes, J10, they do. But I did the referencing to a pack alpha in my werewolf story. That's what I'm referencing. It's I referenced about, an alpha. It made for a good story at the time, but I know now, since I've written that, since then, I came to understand that pack alpha is not a thing. So you learn. You're always learning. Always learning.
Get back. And just as a final middle finger to anyone that still wants to
Yeah,
argue,
Alpha
when the
and the
term
Omega
alpha
is
male
beginning
was
and
first used
ending in lab.
academically in 1921, it was by zoologist Thorleif Sheldrup Ebbe, and he was referring to... I'm not even kidding. He was...
Wait. I missed that.
spend the rest of his career trying to take it back. And just as a final middle finger to anyone that still wants to argue, when the term alpha male was first used academically in 1921, it was by zoologist Thorleif Sheldrup Ebbe, and he was referring to... I'm not even kidding. He was talking about the hierarchy where lower status poultry will get pecked on by higher ranks. That's literally where pecking order came from. So the next time a man tries you with that alpha male just know he's taking cues from a temperamental chicken nugget. Also, chickens are confirmed psychopaths. If one chicken starts bleeding, the whole flock will jump in and peck it to death. I think the worst thing is that people took the alpha dog thing and got convinced that's how you make your actual dog respect you. Cesar Millan has done an absolute masterclass of misinformation on the dog community.
Yeah. Oh my god, yeah. People hailed this man. They called him the dog whisperer, for God's sake. And he basically built his brand on basically you have to be the alpha dog. And yeah, it's just... a lot of people don't like him. He is... This man has had a tremendous fall from grace. He was once upon a time a household fucking name. Hell, he was on fucking South Park. They did him on South Park, and not as an asshole. They just basically they had him as a character on South Park when Cartman was getting out of control. And his mom was trying to get Cartman under control, and she brought in fucking Cesar Millan to train him like a dog. Graynos because he preaches the whole pack alpha thing, where you have to, basically, the whole being in control, and you have to dominate your household pets. For maintaining control, and it's a whole fucking thing. Yeah. And I think I don't know too much about it. I haven't dug into it. I think he's done a few bad things when it comes to animals and people too, although what they might be, I don't know. People in chat have mentioned something about it. I haven't even looked into it. But apparently, yeah, he's done some serious shit.
Dog community. You really got folks thinking you gotta flex on an 80-pound pit bull to keep him in line. Imagine trying to play alpha with Cujo on creatine. We've gotten a lot wrong about dogs, and probably the worst thing, that a tail wagging means happy. That fact alone has probably gotten more people bit than anything. Basically, a tail wag means excitement. Excitement can mean seeing their person come home, or it can mean fear, anxiety, or the last warning before they put a canine-sized hole in your hand. And the faster the tail, the more excited Fido is. The question is, what kind? Well, science says a tail favoring the right means the vibes are good. But a tail leaning left could mean stress, so best to be left. Alone, that is a lot more complicated than I just made it sound, but long story short, a tail wag is like a smile. A smile can mean someone's happy to see you, or might even think you're cute, or that waitress is just doing her job and doesn't want to get hit on at work.
I don't care that there's rat poison in his drink. He will die happy. He will die very happy.
Long story short, if you expect your dog to learn how to parlay people, then the least you can do is talk tail. Oh, another dog thing that's been bothering me for years is that Chihuahuas are the spawn of Shaitan. Now, I get the little dog thing. I've been personally victimized by many an ankle biter. But with dogs, there's usually a why. You just gotta look deep enough. Huskies are known for being donkey-stubborn toddlers on 4.
Come inside.
But Huskies were also bred as sled dogs, and not
Yep.
only would they have to be independent and make decisions in a dangerous
Okay. Huskies are stubborn because Huskies are working dogs. They were bred to be working. I don't know if he's going to, how deep he's going to go into this. He's like, talking about how they have to be able to think independently. That is part of it, but they're also bred to be working dogs. That mentality is bred into them. Because, and that's where I was going to. It is not just Huskies. It's Huskies, it's Border Collies, it's Malamutes, eh, I had it breathed in my head and I just lost it. But yeah, when you have a dog that is Pyrenees is a good one. Berners are another good one. These are animals that they are bred specifically to be working animals. They are happiest when they're working. With Huskies, they're sled dogs. So that's why they have, Rotties, Dobies, Shepherds, Rhodesians. These are all working dogs. And it's like that mentality has been bred into them. That mentality is passed down through the generations. And so when you don't give a working dog a job to do, they get bored. And then when they get bored, they get stubborn, and then they get destructive because they're bored. So, yeah, that's why it's generally recommended if you are not an active person, don't get a working dog breed.
Huskies are adorable, but you need to give them something to do or they are not happy, and unhappy
Correct.
dogs can be destructive.
Very correct. What was it? Irish wolfhounds. I remember once seeing a video of a couple of Irish wolfhounds that literally ate a car. Like someone I don't know if it was actually in Ireland or if it was in England, they left their two Irish wolfhounds in a car. They went and did something, I forgot what, and these Irish wolfhounds literally ate everything eatable, including all of the seats and the upholstery in this little car. When the owner came back to the car, the interior was completely eaten. There was only scraps of the upholstery and the fabric material left. Because they got bored sitting in that car. Yeah, and Huskies are very much escaperists.
were also bred as sled dogs, and not only would they have to be independent and make decisions in a dangerous work environment, sometimes they'd have to be willing to go against orders if those orders went against their better judgment. It's actually called intelligent disobedience, and for football fans, it's basically an audible. It's pretty important, because if Russell Wilson had it, maybe he would have ran the ball! Beagles are basically walking instruments, but they were bred to hunt rabbits in thick brush, and that same bang keeping you up at 2 a.m. is how they communicate with hunters. So why are Chihuahuas like that? I don't even think it's a Chihuahua thing more than a little dog thing, but I have my theories. A lot of times, Chihuahuas don't get socialized with other dogs early on, so the first time they see a big dog, which like any dog to them is a big dog, it probably scares the daylights out of them. Also, I think a bigger thing is owners be letting a lot of bad habits slide just because they're travel size. So eventually it escalates. Let it be a Doberman and suddenly they'll know discipline. Actually, that's my biggest thing. A lot of owners won't correct bad behavior when it comes from a Chihuahuano. In fact, I've seen a lot of y'all encourage it. I've always said if a Rottweiler acted like a Chihuahua for a day, he'd be dead by dinner. Also, often what looks like aggression might just be fear. And if your dog tells you he's afraid and you don't listen because you think it's cute, but that's how you end up with a dog version of David. Size might be part of it too, but it probably has less to do with it than people think. Long story short, if I see a kid wilding in Walmart, I'm gonna look at the parents. And likewise, I'm gonna blame the dog owner before I blame the dog. No.
And that's a general thing. That's not just a Chihuahua thing. That's a general thing. When you see a dog that's misbehaving or a dog that's aggressive, you look at the owners. Because the owners are letting it happen or they're encouraging it. That's why I fucking hate when you have like these dog fighting rings that get broken up, or these dogs that are pulled from a bad home, and these dogs are traumatized and they're acting defensively and it's viewed as being aggressive, the dog is punished. When 99% of these dogs that come out of fighting arena, that come out of like, fighting rings, or come out of bad homes and are aggressive, 99% of them can be worked with, can be rehabilitated, can make wonderful family animals. It requires a bit of extra help on the part of the people. One of the most successful border crossing dogs, like border crossing canine unit, is a pit bull. One of the most successful canines in the history of the border patrol is a pit bull. And I think it was a rescue. I cannot remember if it came from a dog fighting ring or not. But pit bulls have a completely undeserved reputation, and you still hear to this day the whole bullshit about the locking jaws with a pit bull. That pit bulls have a predisposition for violence. All of that is nonsense. Pit bulls are unbelievably wonderful, sweet family animals. Except the pit bulls you hear and this is why you have like town ordinances that say no one can ever own a pit bull, because they drank the fucking Kool-Aid that every pit bull has locking jaws and is basically bred. They're hell dogs that are bred to attack anything that has a pulse. When they are some of the sweetest dogs you will ever encounter, and it's horrible how pit bulls basically people are basically racist against pit bulls. Okay, this is quite literally racism against pit bulls, and it's completely false. 100% fucking false. But people still believe it to this day. There are still millions of towns throughout America alone that will not allow you to have a pit bull as a dog because of this stupid, debunked 1,000 times stereotype about pit bulls. It's not about the breed. It is about the owner and how the owner treats the animal. So all of these dogs that get rescued from fighting rings, all of these dogs that get rescued from abusive homes, are good dogs. They just need to be shown love and care. They just need to be worked with so they don't have to be scared. That's all. And people are not willing to put the effort into it. And so these dogs get stigmatized and they get put down when they don't deserve it. They don't deserve that. That's what every dog I've ever had. I've had a few dogs. Every fucking one of them I got from a shelter. Every single one of them I got from a shelter. And I adopted. The first dog I ever had was this such a sweetheart. She was like a shepherd border collie mix. And she was terrified. When I first saw her in the shelter, she was terrified. She was hiding in the back of her kennel with her tail tucked so far between her legs it was pressed flat against her belly. She was absolutely terrified. And I I asked him, can we bring her out? And she didn't want to come out. She wanted to stay hiding in the in the kennel. But we got her out. We brought her out to the back. They had it where there was a dog run. Brought her out there. And I spent like 10 minutes with her, just letting her sniff, letting her get used to it. I was able to give her some petting, and her tail slowly started coming up under her belly and started to get a little bit of a wag. And I said, she's coming home with me. And I adopted her right then and there and brought her home. And you know what? For the first, I don't even know how many weeks that she was with me, she had been abused. My dog had been abused. That's what the shelter people told me. That every time she tried to go into the hall, into the house where she was formerly living, she would be beaten. Every time she tried to go into a house. And the kids would come by and just torture her by like throwing things at her. And just made her just terrified of the world. And for the first few weeks that I had her home, she wouldn't even come into the house. I literally would have to pick her up and carry her through the door into the house. She was so terrified that I was going to hurt her if she came inside the house. And I just worked with her. I just showed her that she had nothing to be scared of. And slowly but surely, she started relaxing. Realizing that she was somewhere safe with people, with someone that loved her. And she became the sweetest dog I've ever met in my life. She means an absolute sweetheart. And every time I would come home from work, when I got home, oh my god, her tail wagged so fucking hard, I thought it was gonna fly off of her. She was an absolute angel. And you could do anything with her. If there was a small child could do anything, and she wouldn't do a thing. She would just give them a lick. She was the best dog I ever had. She was so wonderful. I did it for the best one I could. So yeah. Oh God. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to go off on a tangent like that. It just reminded me of her. It just reminded me of her. I've had a few dogs, and she was my first dog, and she was the best dog I've ever had. Oh God. Okay. Okay. And yeah, Leo, she was a German Shepherd Border Collie, and I suspect she might have been mixed with a little something else in there too, but she was definitely German Shepherd Border Collie mix. I think probably some lab in there too, I think. Okay. Okay. We only have 3 minutes left. Let's try to get back to this.
Clever transition, but another thing I've heard is that male lions don't hunt, or better yet, that male lions are lazy. And I can tell you exactly where it came from.
Oh, this is
see, lionesses use the power of friendship to run down prey in open areas. It's pretty hard to miss. Lions are bigger, bulkier, and with a whole afro equipped, they had to switch up the playbook. So instead, male lions ambush prey by camping out in dense brush. Research shows that male lions pack up prey as frequently as females. It's just that in the olden days, you'd probably never see it. Also, before male lions even get a pride, they're in their nomad arc. Oh, they'd be lying on the ground permanently if they didn't hunt. Now, to be fair, male lions do stop hunting as much when they're in a pride. But not completely. They'll often get involved to bring down bigger, riskier prey like buffalo that lionesses might struggle with. Basically, the lionesses run them down and the main mercenary delivers the final blow. Now, they do only get involved about 10% of the time, but it's not because they're
Yes,
lazy.
Tamashi,
They
I
just have a
did.
different job description. Male lions patrol the pride lands, mark their territory, and as you know, they gotta run the ones with any outsider trying to take his place. What you might not realize is, as good at hunting lionesses are, in some studies they got up to half their kills stolen by hyenas, or even other males. Having a nearly 500-pound equalizer on their side helps them keep what they catch. It's not lazy, it's just that lions and lionesses help cover each other's weaknesses perfectly, and clearly it works. They're the most notorious and feared pack predators in Africa. Or maybe second, because there's one predator that animals fear even more than Mufasa and friends.
Falcon, you're here! Hi, Falcon! Hi! Honey, thank you for the gifted! Hi! You're back! Welcome back, Falcon! Welcome back! Oh god! Oh god, I just got to crying! Oh god! Hi, Falcon! I missed you!
And you'll never get it's us. It's us. You might remember that an experiment showed that almost every animal from giraffes to antelope to even leopards and hyenas were unanimously more afraid of the sound of humans than the cadence of a giant carnivorous cat. Which is how to this day I still don't understand how this went viral. Or at least I didn't, because not only did I find out where it came from, I think I was wrong. Kind of. Technically. Let me explain. So, in 2017, college student Julia Haas posted a tweet saying elephants basically see us the same way we see puppies. Now, ignoring the part of the population that's terrified of dogs, the fact loses steam when you realize she got it from Tumblr. It's more likely that one of the smartest creatures alive see us as predators, but not their babies. Remember, it's proven that baby elephants that play the most grow up into more well-adjusted adults. It's why you'll see a baby-faced boulder chase around birds, dogs, and anything in between. So here's what I think happened. Baby elephants will treat humans like any other animal. Difference is, humans might be the only animal that'll see an 1,800-pound toddler barreling towards them and welcome it. In fact, the premature pachyderms probably realize that a hairless bipedal ape gives them their best response. So it's not really that elephants think we're cute, it's that baby elephants think everything's cute. Us included. And I'd bet that's where all the videos of 1-ton 2-year-olds manhandling people came from.
Maybe.
I wouldn't even believe that if I didn't nearly become one of them. Yeah, I went all the way to Chiang Mai to get bullied by an elephant's child. And I do it again. I actually made a video where I talk about it, along with why playing with one could be a bad time for literally everyone involved. You might not have seen it because apparently the YouTube lords did not care for that video. Probably
Oh, they pulled it down. I never had a chance to see it, and they pulled it down. Hey, that sucks.
care for that video. Probably because I talked about certain topics. If you know, you know, but if you don't, definitely give it a watch. I don't usually plug after I post, but I'm proud of that one. But that's gonna do it for this video.
It is still up.
Make sure you drink water, hug your mother.
Oh, he's probably saying it got demonetized. Oh, Falcon, that's okay. That's okay. You gave us so many wonderful pieces of art. It's totally fine. And you know what? There are other sites you can talk to some of the other people that are that use it to make their own, and you can maybe use that site instead. So don't give up. There might be other sites that you can use. Yeah, we should maybe add that to the watch list, Tatsunashi.
Plug after I post, but I'm proud of that one. But that's gonna do it for this video. Make sure you drink water, hug your mother, touch grass, it's good for you. And I'ma see y'all in, well, hopefully in this one, but if not, I'ma see y'all in the next one.
God. Oh God. This was a good video. I don't know why I cried so much. I always cry with animals. I love animals so much it made me cry. Oh.